Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the final race of the Elite Racing Experience here at New Smyrna. Opening night for the 2024B Elite Racing League Speed Weeks here. My name is Carlos Acosta, and joining me is one of my dearest friends, Race Clark. Race, I'm so excited for tonight. So excited to finish off the season and to start off this season's Speed Weeks.
Agreed, Carlos, dearest friend indeed. I'm very excited. Round 6, New Smyrna, Old Smyrna, I don't care. I'm excited to get to racing tonight. Only a 2-point gap between first and second in the standings for the championship between Tyler Pody and Ethan Stanley. Matt Gruenberg, not too far out of the way, too. You never know. It could get a little chaotic. We're going to find out later tonight.
Yeah, we're almost a third of the way through with qualifying. We only have, I believe, 11, 12 drivers here racing tonight. Small field, but a competitive field. Taking a look at the points we mentioned, Race mentioned Tyler Fody, Ethan Stanley lock in essentially for the championship. I think mathematically Matt Gruenberg could potentially get it. I am not quite sure how it'll work out, depending on if we have any late stragglers. But the chances of that happening are very low. So Tyler Fody, Ethan Stanley, have to keep an eye out between those two. Because we do have a bonus point for a lap led and a bonus point for the most laps led. It's a three-way battle between for third place between Gruenberg, Rexing, and Lytle, and then a four-way battle for sixth place between Gavel, Campbell, Rizemus, and Thomas. Now, I have driven here before. I haven't driven with these tracks, and this track, with these cars, but this track is very fun to drive. A little bit challenging, but it's a fun opening night here for Speed Weeks.
I agree. I could not tell you the last time I did a new lap at New Smyrna. I haven't done any in this car, but I think it's going to be a really good combo. Flat track, heavy car, kind of hard to have a bad time there, but not too flat, Carlos, honestly, looking here at qualifying. Pretty good banking there. Wonder what the track evolution is going to be like.
Yeah, it should be a fun race regardless. Now, let's take a look here. Very early in the qualifying. Well, it's 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. Second place in points, Ethan Stanley. You're a provisional pole sitter. So if he can start up in the front, well, remember we're doing a heat race. So then if he finishes all the way in the back, which I guess would be strategic, then he can start this race in the front. Now, if he wins the heat, he'll be starting in 10th place. So that's you have to kind of think about what you're gonna do. And the last time that we were, well, not the last time, but the first couple times we were at paved tracks, we had drivers that were purposely just taking it easy, especially in the main event, just taking it easy for the first 60-70% of the race, making sure that they didn't kill their cars, making sure that they didn't kill their tires before they went on and actually started making a charge. And we saw it kind of work out for some drivers, but not all of them. So it'll be an interesting deal if we're going to be seeing these drivers kind of do almost the same thing, where we'll see half the field take it easy in the back and hopefully avoid any carnages.
Yes, the car is very fragile, and a lot of guys, not just for first and second, people are looking to change their position all throughout the standings here in the final race. I know there's a tight battle for, what was it, 4th place or 6th place between multiple cars, so it will be interesting to see how people are going to play around the invert and how people are going to manage their car and their tires tonight. I think there'll be a lot of learning from the heat. I think the heat's going to give us a real good idea of what we're going to see later on in the race.
Well said. Well, just a couple seconds remaining before we transition on over to tonight's heat race with 12 drivers on the track here registered. We should only be seeing one heat race. I believe after 15 is when we start seeing, I think, 2. But should be seeing 1 tonight, and that'll be a good way to start off today. You mentioned we're going to have a good idea as to what we're going to be seeing some of these drivers. We're going to be seeing if it's easy to pass, if it's hard to pass. We're going to be seeing if drivers tend to make a lot of mistakes here, because we usually have a couple drivers making mistakes very early on, incredibly early on, I should say. I've noticed people have been making mistakes. So drivers in pit road right now as they are gridding in for the main event. And here's tonight's heat opening bill, I should say. Stanley in first place, Matt Gruenberg in second, Tyler Fody qualified third, Scott Crump in 4th. That'll be row number 2. Row number 3 is going to have Gerald Campo and Chad Frankenfield. Keep an eye out for Chad. He's had issues every single week, it looks like. So keep an eye on him. Ryan Gabble in 7th. Johnny Thomas back after playing college football last week in 8th. 9th is going to be Jared Rexing. And 10th is going to be Jesse Reisman. So we have 2 more drivers here in this final row. Row number 6, Zach Evans in 11th. And Hunter Smith in 12th. Now we do have in-car cameras tonight from both Zach Evans and Scott Crump, who they'll be starting. Scott Crump is in 4th and Zach Evans is in 11th. So interesting to have 2 points of views here tonight.
Heck yeah, shout out for those views provided.
Yeah. And Gruenberg has gridded up. He's the last driver to grid. We should be accelerating here momentarily. While they're still getting themselves set up, I do want to go ahead and give a quick shout out and thank you to our partners, Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business at Blue Egg, your marketing pick route. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. Don't spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. Also, shout out to Worldwide Technology Raceway. They're a motorsports racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, close to the Gateway Arc. It features a 1.25-mile oval that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Craftsman Truck Series, and the IndyCar Series. A 2-mile infield road course used by the Speed Tour, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America. It also has a quarter-mile NHRA sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest National Events, and the Carplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. Thank you to 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designs for sim racers by sim racers. Visit their website today. Pace car off, and we're getting ready to go green here for the final round here in heat number 1.
Wasting no time at all. Matt Gruenberg down into turn 1 on the outside there with Ethan Stanley. Ethan wanted to get right to business with that championship on the line, but Matt Gruenberg, same situation, close in the points mathematically possible. Thinking the same with the invert also possible. They're stacked up. The Tyler Fody back to maybe on the loose or inside 3-1.
They're trying to get a different angle. Unfortunately, we are down a camera feed. Had an issue with the second computer, and I'm going to try to work on it after the broadcast tonight. So we're just down to 1, but have no fear. We're still going to have excellent coverage here for you, as we are side by side for 3rd place between Tyler Fody and Scott Crump. Ethan Stanley by himself, single file, clearing himself from Matt Gruenberg just a bit, enough where it's comfortable. Fody has cleared himself from that 3rd place battle by himself. Now Scott Crump and Campo battling side by side. At least they were until Chad Frankenfield got Campo a little bit loose. And around goes Campo. Caution's going to come out.
Sizable hit there in the left rear, it looked like too.
Caution number 1 in the first heat race is out. And it's for Joe Campo, who I believe made contact with Frankenfield. Now we'll take a look and see just exactly what happened. Little contact there in the front stretch between Frankenfield and Campo, and then it looks like Frankenfield did not give Campo much room into enter turns 1 and 2. Cut down across his nose, and around goes to 0-0. Now, doesn't look like much damage at all, if any, to Gerald Campo. So it shouldn't be too hard. Just a tough break for the 0-0 early on. Jared Rexing has gone down pit road. Unsure why, but he is down pit road right now. Nobody else appears to be even thinking about touching pit road, as I would not. Alright, trying to see what else could be going on the track. Take a look to see if when they cross the finish line, if we'll be going back to green the next time by or not. Remember, caution lap do count here, as we're already on lap number 6. And lights are off. We're going to be restarting here with 18 laps to go on lap number 8. It was interesting to see Ethan Stanley not get challenged for the lead here and pretty much be single file. Same thing with second place 40's looking pretty strong a little bit early. He's already made up. Excuse me, he lost a spot. No, that's incorrect. He is third. He is in the same spot that he was. It's just the way that they're gridding up right now. But Ethan Stanley choosing the outside line. Matt Gruenberg in second place. As the green flags back out. And again, Ethan Stanley comfortably going to head into turns 1 and 2 with nobody to his inside or outside. Matt Gruenberg also cleared of any battles, and Scott Crump and Tyler Foley batting for that position. Advantage goes to the outside line with Scott Crump.
The green flag and Ethan Stanley wasting no time getting back to business there. Immediate racing, everyone's already side by side. Stringing out there for the first 3 positions between Stanley, Gruenberg, and Crump. Wondering what the pace is going to be like here once we get some green flag laps from Carlos.
Interesting to see if we start seeing more battles, or if the battles start to dissipate, as top 5 are now pretty much single file. Jesse Reisman is diving in there deep on the 40, as I think Frankenfield has, no, that's not Frankenfield, that's Zach Evans has gone wide. No, that's not, that's Johnny Thomas that's gone wide and lost a handful of spots right now. All the way to currently in 11th place, last driver on the lead lap. Now with 15 laps to go, remember, it is a 10-car invert. So positions 1 through 10 will be inverted for the main event, which leaves me a little baffled as to why some of these guys aren't just battling for that 10th place position. Especially Ethan Stanley, who's going for a championship here. And if he has to battle from all the way to the back, that might be costly.
Agreed, a key position right there, but doesn't seem like too much haste yet. Maybe people trying to keep their car in one piece for now. Short race though, but really wondering what the passing is like out there. I'll have to get a word with one of the drivers after this heat.
Pat Frankenfield holding down that 7th position. Gerald Campbell right behind him. Now we saw an issue that brought out that first caution between the 15 and the 00. 15 would not cut Campbell a break. Now we're seeing Campbell kind of being in that reverse position. Is he going to do anything to the 15? Doesn't seem that way, as the number 12 of Ryan Gavel has gone up high and handsome, hit the wall a little bit, and he's going to lose a couple spots as he's kind of stuck on that outside line, as it looks like the place to be is the inside.
Agreed, Carlos. About to say the same thing. Looking like if you want to get a pass done, it's going to be done on the bottom side. Almost freight trained a little bit there on the outside is Ryan Gavel.
Meanwhile, up front, there is no change. Ethan Stanley off to a commanding lead. It's not incredibly dominant or anything, but it's enough where he doesn't have to comfortably worry about any of this. Matt Gruenberg, also good separation between 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th. A good separation between everybody, I would say, as we get to the side-by-side battles here in that battle for 7th and 8th. That's where we're starting to see some of the drivers kind of get in the middle and start battling. Let's take a look here on the in-car camera of Zach Evans.
Good looking collection as always. Love the white gloves. Right now, really nowhere for him to go. They're staying side by side to give Ryan Gavel some credit. He's hanging on tight there. I'm sure doing his tires no favor. Right on the door. Some good clean racing on these two. Zach Evans, we have to hang out and watch what happens here. Ooh, might have to wait too long.
Yeah, Gavel went a little bit wide there on the exit of 3 and 4. It looks like Gavel cut him a good break. Excuse me, if I said Gavel, I meant to say Campbell. Cut him a good break. And Zach Evans getting some late run speed here with 6 laps to go. Trying to make a pass here to get himself into 8th place. As he now has to hold off the 54. They're almost 3 wide.
Oh man, Zach Evans trying to make moves any way he can. The way the traffic and the passing is stacked up, side by side again, 2 rows back. Ooh man, close, but he clears him right there. Looking good. 5 to go.
Another spot for Zach Evans, who's now +3 in this race, currently in 8th. You see Johnny Thomas there in 11th. He needs to pass 1 car to start the main event in 1st place. He just needs to get by Hunter Smith. I'm sure Hunter is not going to be making it easy for him. I'm sure he knows that he's holding on to the prettiest spot here in the heat.
Kind of cruising right now. think it's a good omen for him and when he's thinking about this points battle tonight. We're going to have to deal with the invert, and the passing has not looked easy. I think that'll be a really interesting storyline when we get to the main race.
The real battle here is that battle for 10th place. Is the 54 going to make an attempt to get past Ryan Gavel? Is he going to hold on to that 10th place position? Can Johnny Thomas do anything? So we got 2 laps remaining here. Ethan Stanley already in the backstretch going into turns 3 and 4 right now. No challenge behind him. Matt Gruenberg in second, one second behind him. As Ethan Stanley is going to take the white flag. Battle for that 3rd place position between Scott Crump and Tyler Fody. As we're going to take a look back in a little bit and see if anything's happening for that 10th place spot. Meanwhile, Ethan Stanley heading into 3 and 4 one last time in this heat as he's going to go and cross the start-finish line. Bumper to bumper, wire to wire, I should say. He led us, wow, side by side, a little drag race for that 3rd place position. Tyler Fody got the spot over Scott Crump. Hunter Smith.
Tyler Fody.
Well, oh, yeah. Hunter Smith held. Yo, what's up?
I was just saying apologies to my bad, Carlos. You go on.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Brian Gabel got that 10th place spot, so he's going to be starting this last main event here, the last round in the lead here. Got a little brief warm up, and then we're going to head into the competition now. Well, what's on your mind there?
So much. The passing was tough, and you know, it looks like Ethan Stanley walked away with that one, but now it's going to be really interesting to watch him work his way to the field. Him and Matt Gruenberg, both. Matt was not too far behind. A lot of good speed. Clearly the bottom line, the place to be. We're going to find out tonight.
Race, we're in the wrong room.
Yeah, I noticed that too whenever they were pulling people in. That's my apologies. I was in the waiting room.
Yep, sorry about that, guys. Hello, welcome back. We are now on the right room. I should have known the spread here isn't as good. It's not what we usually get. There were Ritz crackers, and I should be expecting Uncrustables. There they are.
There we go. Yeah, I noticed whenever people started joining, I was like so confused. Then I realized what room we were in. Whoops.
Oh man, what a comedy of errors we are here in this last race. Shout out to the guys that joined the booth and were smart enough to kind of stay quiet and not say anything. But we're starting off here with the final main event of the season, and we're starting off with Gavel and Smith in your front row. Zach Evans starting 3rd with Gerald Campbell in 4th. Chad Frankenfield is going to start this final final main event in 5th, with Jesse Reisemis in 6th. 7th place is going to Scott Crump and Tyler Fody, with row number 5, Matt Gruenberg in 9th, and Ethan Stanley in 10th place. Now that was your invert, so just go backwards to get the results of the first heat. And the final row number 6, we have Johnny Thomas and Jared Rexing. Starting 11th and 12th. Not sure why Jerry Rexing went down Perry Road, but he did go back out there and finish the remainder of the laps. So that's interesting to note for sure. But you know, hopefully if it was an issue, hopefully it got taken care of, and that's not something he has to worry about here in the remainder of the race. As a fun fact, actually, he won't have to worry about that for the remainder of the race. Jared Rexing did not grade up. And he's actually in pit road now, so he missed the start. So another development for Jared Rexing is he missed the start, and he's going to be starting the race from pit road. So that's going to suck for him. His only saving grace is if he gets a very, very quick caution, because I think you could go a lap down just from missing the start.
Unfortunate there for Jared Rexing, but man, they have not wasted time getting this race started tonight. Already lights out in the pace car. You know that thing's going to pull down real fast. Ryan Gavel in control. He deserves it after fighting on the outside that whole time. It was worth it.
Well, we got racing here starting up very, very soon. As pace car should be going in this time by. And pace car's off. We're going to expect a green flag here any second, and it's out as Ryan Gavel leads them to the field one last time here. Round number 6 for the Elite Racing Experience. Ryan Gavel, just like we've seen in heat number 1, no issues for the pole sitter as he's clear of any challenges as Hunter Smith and Zach Evans battle for that second place spot side by side through 3 and 4. Advantage is going to go to Hunter Smith exiting the corner. Chad Frankenfield looking to the outside of Zach Evans as he's going to drive it in there almost side to side. They sure are, and is the advantage going to go to the outside? It looks like it will as the tides have turned. It looks like the inside may not be dominant here.
Yeah, very interesting. The outside firing off good there. Gavel had a great start to the race, but like you said, outside playing strong. No one. Oh no! We got
no!
Zach Evans going around. Unfortunate. Big contact there on the nose. No one else really involved. That's a big hit there for Zach.
Caution is out for Zach Evans. He has the frown on that face. He is not happy with what happened there. Trying to look at the steering wheel. Is it straight? It looks like it mostly is. He's turning a little bit to the right, but that could be normal for that vehicle. Caution's out very early on. That's going to really help out Jared Rexing, who is... oh, I'm sorry. It showed him 3 laps down earlier, but I think it's all good. Let's take a look at what happened here in this incident. It was a fun battle for that 3rd place position. And, almost similar incident to what happened with Gerald Campo in the first heat. The 15 made contact with the car on the inside, and the car on the inside went around. Now, I don't think that Frankenfield gave Zach, or I don't think that he didn't give him enough room. But I want to take a look at it from a different point of view. Because in the first heat, it really looked like Frankenfield didn't give Campo much room at all. And this time by, you know, it's a little close to call. I think definitely would deem that one a racing incident compared to the first heat. But Frankenfield, another week with issues here. And Zach Evans is already starting off this main event not in the way that he wants to start with.
Yeah, plenty of time to get back, but that's unfortunate for Zach Evans. Like you said, tough racing down there. Kind of got in the rear end, not really a dive bomb. Unfortunate no matter how you want to frame it. Ryan Gavel going to remain in control of this race. Campbell Smith did a good job to not lose P2. Outside, not looking too bad. Want to see if that remains the same. Get fired off here. What's the lights on the pace car looking like?
I think the lights are still on. I do want to make a developing note. I want you guys to take a look here at 6th and 7th. Those are your drivers in 1-2 in the standings, and they're actually in the same position that they are. So Fody leading the standings, Stanley in 2nd place. So the way it is right now, Fody would be getting the championship. Stanley at the moment, who hasn't led a lap, none of these drivers have led a lap. He needs to finish 2 positions higher than Fody to tie, because he's 2 points back.
I'm glad you're crunching the numbers.
It's a tough job, but someone has to crunch those numbers.
That's awesome.
Pace car's off. Green flag is out.
Woo.
Oh! One of the drivers in teal got loose. I think that was Risemus. Ryan Gavel, no issues. He does go wide, though, in turns 1 and 2. And he's going to get a really good drive off the corner, but a little scary there for the pole sitter. Making the first effort to make a mistake while leading the race so far. But battle for second is kind of helping him secure that lead position for the time being, as Hunter Smith and Gerald Campbell battling side by side, and somebody goes around. It's Frankenfield.
Uh-oh. Looks damage-free, I think.
And he definitely does look damage-free. I think front and rear contact is okay. I think that's where the car is very stable and tough. But I think hitting the wall and damaging the sides is where the car's a little bit fragile in. But let's take a look and see what happened to Chad Frankenfield. Right behind him is the number 90, Scott Crump. But that wasn't the issue, as he came across the number 40, Tyler Fody. And since he was the car on the inside making contact, he's the one that went around. So unfortunate for Chad. Looks like he's just going to lose track position, as that car definitely looks A-okay.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe got a little hot down to the corner. Did all he could not to hit the 40 car there. Very respectable. Goes for a little ride.
Yeah, a little racing incident there. And the 24 did a great job to not get involved with that, and also not hit the wall. So good driving by Matt Grunberg. Now, what does this do to the racing positions? Tyler Fody and Ethan Stanley. Fody in 4th place, Stanley in 6th. However, Stanley still needs to be 2 positions higher, so this is not helping Stanley's chance. So Stanley did win the opening heat, so now it's a matter of should he have done that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, actually. I guess we're going to find out. We keep getting these cautions. It's going to be hard for Ethan Stanley to work his way to the field. Risky, too. You don't want to get caught up in one, but pace car is about to peel off here. Ryan Gavel looking competitive there on the outside line, huh? Woo.
Oh! Asleep behind the wheel? Maybe? I don't know what happened there, or something happened. Hunter Smith has a black flag. I think he jumped at the start as he's driving it all the way to the back. Regardless of what happened, he still cut through the cones on pit road, so he has a black flag whether he jumped the start or exited pit lane unsafely. But a battle for the lead for the first time tonight as Guillermo Campo goes to the inside, washes up, makes contact with the 12. As he's going to clear him? Yes, he will, going to 3 and 4. As we have a new race leader for the first time all night. As we have had a pass for the lead. Campo's going to lead a lap. But Ryan Gavel's not giving up on that position quite yet.
Yeah, we know he's like the high side, but they're all over each other bumpers right there. And just behind him, we got Tyler Fody, Ethan Stanley, the championship contenders. Wow, so loose right there. Holds on to it, though, Ryan Gavel. Getting excited. Long race to go here.
Yeah, he has to settle in, keep the tires under him. I think he hit the wall. That's kind of what happened on the backstretch. But we're finally getting a bit of a run here. Compared to what we've had pretty much the first part of this race. And he just needs to settle in, get his rhythm, and then go make another attempt, but he's going to cool the tires down first.
Yep. It's exciting to be up there in the lead or battling for the lead, but you got to look up at the counter and see you got over 80 laps to go here in this race. Just a set of tires to work with. Don't want to burn them up. Especially when you got 2 guys battling for the championship right on your heels. And lock in here and run a smart race.
Yeah, and they're running still in the same position that they started the night in. Fody is still ahead of Stanley, as that is the battle here. The question is Stanley faster? Can he make a move? Is it the type of thing where once he gets past Fody, he can start picking off a couple more drivers? Because the way I see it, if Stanley wins the race and Fody finishes in 2nd, I think they would be tied if Stanley does not lead the most laps. Now, if Stanley gets past Fody and then goes in and takes the lead from Campo or Gavel, whoever's leading at the time, before we get to the halfway mark and then leads the rest of the way, then regardless of what where Fody finishes, he would be the champion, unless Fody leads a lap. But there's a battle for the race lead going on as Gavel's looking to get that top spot back once again. And for the 2nd time tonight, we have a battle for the lead as Gavel has now gone around and gotten past Campo for that pole position, or excuse me, for that primary position.
Created a little paint, rubbed a little fender to get it done, but Ryan Gavel to the point. Been fighting for it all night long. Ethan Stanley looking competitive behind Tyler Fody, but not looking to make any moves. You wonder where the pace is at. You wonder who's managing their tire better. Kind of one of those things that really fold out here because a lot of racing to go, Carlos, and those guys are beating and banging with a whole lot of time left on the clock.
Yeah, look at the ticker. We see 8th and back, over 6 seconds back. Gruenberg, Evans, Thomas, Rexing. I know some of these guys have had issues, but drivers like Gruenberg and Thomas, I think that they could just be taking care of their stuff, hoping for a very late caution in this race. And hopefully with fresher tires, if they keep on saving, they might be able to do something here. Gavel, who lost the lead and then promptly took it back about 10 laps later, hasn't really pulled away from Campo much at all. As it looks like they're running kind of similar lap times. It just could have just been that Gavel was a little more consistent, especially behind the driver. But Tyler Fody and Ethan Stanley, they got that battle going on right now.
Yeah, Ethan's starting to look a little more racy. He's starting to peek out because he's got old Crump, was that Nick Crump behind him, looking competitive. He was very strong in the heat race as well, so you don't want to wait too long, get stuck in traffic, a couple cautions, never know what happens here. Wonder if he'll look to make his move, or maybe Tyler Footy's just a little too fast for Ethan Stanley right now, looking a little loose on the exit of the corner. Crump thought about looking low, tucks in, takes his corner. Smart racing right now from these three.
Right now, Stanley cannot give up any positions to Fody. So he does not want to get passed by Scott Crump because that'll be another position he'll have to get passed regardless. And it's going to be making it very hard for him. And Fody's just there hoping that that he's able to outperform and outpace Ethan Stanley, and that Scott Crump is going to help him by trying to get that position. As I think Stanley just barely kept the wall. He does have some right side damage. I think he scraped the wall a little bit, or it looks like it's gone now, but I was seeing something earlier. So taking a development, but I think his car is A-okay. Meanwhile, Gavel still in top position, isn't able to pull off, a little loose there exiting the corner, but should be A-okay overall. So we're going to cross into lap number 30 here this time by.
Yes, sir. A-okay indeed.
Ooh, that 12 is loose exiting the corners for sure. It's
not what I expected.
Yeah, let's go in the gyro cam. See if he's doing any overcorrecting. Turn to through 1 and 2, it's A-okay. Through 3 and 4, I think is where he's been getting loose a little bit lately. As that time, yeah, it looks like when he's transitioning into straightening the wheel out, that back of the car gets a little light, and he does have to kind of center the steering. But it looks like he's adapting his driving line, kind of arcing the corner a little bit, taking a little more towards the middle line. Yeah, he got a very definitely loose there, exiting the corner. As that'll be something to keep lookout as the run goes on, especially if this continues to be a green flag run. How much that's going to affect the rear tires.
I agree, Carlos. I honestly expected this one to maybe more of a right front burner, but a lot of nervous rear ends throughout the field. And I'm really curious how that's going to shake up, especially the way these two are racing. They seem to calm down just a little bit, but still looking competitive up there. And I'm still so curious about the true pace of Tyler Fody and Ethan Stanley right now. You can tell Ethan Stanley is definitely minding his P's and Q's, but where's Tyler right now? Are we having an Ethan follow a potential slower Tyler Fody who he knows he can pass, or are they really just kind of duking it out right now? Looks like Nicholas Crump behind him being pretty competitive, but also pretty fair too. You know, ooh, wow, looking low here though.
There goes to the inside of turns 1 and 2. Stanley dives in there, not able to make it work as the 40 of Tyler Fody is able to maintain the momentum exiting the corner and back to single file racing, as that was a failed attempt at the 92 get the spot. I did notice Scott Crump is kind of backing off. I don't know if that's because he doesn't lack the pace to kind of stay with them, or if he's just being a good sport and not gonna try something. As caution's out. That should be the fun flag. Caution's out after a random number between 10 and 15 minutes has gone around, just to keep everybody fair and within the kind of like the same area, and just give the chance for the racing drivers to cool off a little bit, just like they do in the real life SRX when it did exist.
Heck yeah! Recipes to the real life SRX with the ERX right here, and we're having a fun flag. I'm having fun, Carlos. What about you? It's a finale.
I am having a blast. The finale of the ERX, season 1 of the ERX, the first race, opening night here of the 2024B Elite Racing League Speed Weeks. So that's going to be fun. These next couple of races, next couple of weeks here are going to be centered around the start of the Truck, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. So that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm definitely looking forward to next week's Tuesday race in the ARCA Series. I believe that one may be broadcasted. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that later. As I look to finish one spot higher than I did last time, as I just barely lost out in a side-by-side photo finish there in that ARCA race.
Woo! Heck yeah, I hope you get it done. It's been a lot of fun this whole season. Thanks for having me along. It's been great production. It's been an honor.
Yeah, it's been great to have you. Definitely also great to know that you have natural talent here commentating. But side-by-side here, third restart of the night, we're going to be going, and we're going to see if Brian Gavel can pull off to good lead, or we're going to have another kind of weird restart like we had last time.
Yeah, that one was goofy. Hopefully not another one like that. Both lanes looking to be competitive on the takeoff here. Ryan Gavel is off and
Yes,
on his
Campbell.
own.
Yeah, Campbell was caught a little bit sleeping there. Didn't want to pull a Hunter Smith, who was, by the way, retired for the night. I think he definitely jumped the start and then just called it quits after that. But now, Ryan Gavel to the most comfortable lead he's had in a while there, as he got himself a good restart. As Ethan Stanley doing what he needs to do, now into second place.
Yeah, that could not have gone any better for Ethan Stanley, I don't think. And then maybe not any worse for Tyler Fody, now stuck behind two cars, two competitive cars. Really interesting to see how this one's going to shake up. And, you know, back to the restart, Carlos, wondering, are some of these guys experiencing some wheel spin off the go since we're seeing some rear tire wear?
Yep, interesting for sure. Now, the way it's going, they would be tied for points. I don't actually know what the rules are for the points break. I believe it should be the same. Oh, Frankenfield goes around, cautions out.
Ooh.
Let's quickly take a look at that, and then we'll go back. I believe it's the simple determination of most amount of wins, and then most amount of second place finishes, third place, fourth place, and so on. So you know, I'll take a look at the stats here as we take a look once again what happened to Frankenfield. Go from a second camera here. He made contact with the 90th Scott Crump. Crump wasn't taking that. Hit him right in the back going into turns 3 and 4, and Frankenfield backed it into the wall there as he got turned halfway around. So he did get some damage there to that car, but I think that car otherwise will still be a-okay.
Yeah, big slide, but thankfully a small hit there. Maybe Nick Crump looking for the crossover, and had Frankenfield a little checked out from the move he just made. Had unfortunate contact right there, but I think everyone will get away with that one.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break as I take a look and see what the stats are. Actually, well, let's take a look, see if we're going to go green this time by. Lights are off. We're going green this time by. So actually, why don't you go ahead and take it away, as I'll take a look and see who's won the most races.
That's a big 10-4, Carlos. Wasting no time tonight at New Smyrna. They've been cleaning up the track real fast. Ryan Gavel on the outside, looking like they're liking that outside restart.
By the way, taking a look.
Competitive.
Ethan Stanley has won twice. Tyler Fody has yet to win.
Oh,
so I believe that would be the tiebreaker.
Yeah. So Tyler Fody needs to get up there and get it done. Things have gone right for Ethan Stanley, but things have been bad in a hurry. We are green flag. Ryan Gavel in the green car, so competitive on these restarts. Already a 2-car length lead down into turn 1 and 2, lap 45 of 100. Jesse Reisman is looking to maybe get around Ethan Stanley. Not going to happen. He files in for P2. Still borderline side by side. Nicholas Crump looking competitive on the outside. Just made a little contact. Now he's looking to make some passes.
Ooh, good
Campbell.
block. Good block by Tyler Fody to stop the bleeding as a 10 of Jared Rexing had a good run exiting the corner. Was thinking about going to his outside, but Fody dropped in a life-saving block for him. Tyler Fody right now 3 spots behind Ethan Stanley. That would not be enough to win the championship, as all Ethan Stanley needs to do is to hold on to that position. He can get one more spot and try to get the race lead from Gavel. Remember, Ethan Stanley did win the opening heat, so it's very likely he could do that. We're still not at halfway quite yet, and even Gavel didn't lead every single lap, so there's a little bit of leniency, but the faster that Stanley can get to that race lead to try to lead the most laps, the easier it will be for him, as Fody now moves up 1 spot into 5th place, putting himself 2 spots behind Stanley, as never mind, as they're battling side by side for that position. Advantage, I'm going to guess, is with Fody, as he sure clears him. No problem there for Fody, as he's now into 5th place, sole possession of 5th place. Stanley wanting to lead a race, wanting to lead the most laps here to make it even easier for him, as this battle is only getting tougher, because I think Fody is going to have a little bit of an easier time passing at least one more driver, as he has to battle Scott Crump and Jesse Reisman there before he gets to Stanley. So it's very likely, as we're about to cross it to the halfway mark here. 50 laps down, 50 laps to go once they cross the start-finish line, and Gavel started the race in 1st place, has led the majority of the race so far, is being gunned down a little bit by Ethan Stanley.
Yes, sir. Well said. Ryan Gavel has been in a fight since the session opened and it's
Caution's
paid
out.
off, you know. Oh, no.
Frankenfield, I think, has gone around again.
Ooh.
Night's getting worse and worse for old Chad J. Frankenfield. Let's take a look and see what happens. Taking a look, going to the inside of the 0-0. We've seen this in heat number 1, but we're...
Oh.
I think I know what happened, but I just got taken off. I just wasn't expecting that. Let's take a look at it from the onboard position. I thought that he was going to clip into the 0-0 and go around, as it looks like that is kind of what happened, but the car got saved, and the angle that he was in, he had to crank a lot of left wheel to get that car kind of not to hit the wall, the outside wall. And in the area where your car gets very rear end, like light, the rear of the car gets very light, with all the wheel cranked, it just went around, and he wasn't able to, he got behind the steering there and wasn't able to get the car straightened out before it started going around. And there he went, bringing out the fourth caution of the night.
Yes, sir. Unfortunate contact,
caution.
but fifth caution. But Tyler Fode's got to be looking at that and thinking, whew, because Ethan Stanley was beginning to pull Ryan Gavel in for a potential lead-taking maneuver there. Couldn't think of what to say, but if I'm Tyler Fode, I'm looking to capitalize on this here restart. Lights are out. Time to make some moves because we're way over halfway now. End of the season, final round. Liking that outside for the restarts and the passings on the outside. That's been a surprise to me. Looking for an early takeoff here from Ryan Gavel. And he is off. Once again, 2 car lanes cleared down into turn 1. We are green flag. Lap 55 out of 100. Ethan Stanley. Nicholas Crump right on the quarter panel. Got to be careful for Ethan Stanley. Very easy to throw this one away. Tyler Fode back there in heavy traffic though. 3 cars ahead of him. He needs to start clearing them. Looking for a car on his inside there. A little loose. Jared Rexing. Tyler Fode looking high, looking low, looking for anything right now. You can tell he's looking for a move. Maybe desperate.
It was a caution that kind of put it in a position to lose spots in the restart that was also helping Ethan Stanley make his way up. As before the set of cautions came out, it was Fode ahead of Stanley by 1 position. And since then, it's just... Oh no! Jared Rexing, Jesse Reisman is in the wall. As Frankenfield's looking to the inside.
Sorry, Carlos, you were saying.
No, that's it. I was just trying to say, yeah, a set of cautions that changed the trajectory of this points battle in the favor of Stanley, as he's now, I believe, 2 spots, 3. I don't remember how the math works here. I think it's 3 spots behind, because you have to be 1, 2. Yeah, he's 3 spots behind because you have to be ahead of him. And if you're not ahead of him, then you're already 1 spot behind. So that's how it works. All right, so he's currently 3 spots behind, and so he needs to pass Campbell and Crump because he cannot finish the season tied. Due to the fact that Stanley has more wins than Fode does, since Fode doesn't have a win and Stanley has 2. So if he can get there and get he has to get right behind Stanley. Stanley cannot lead a lap. Or if he is right behind Stanley, Stanley can lead a lap, but he cannot lead the most laps. With the way this is going, I think Gavel's going to lock up the most laps led, especially since we are already with 40 laps remaining. And while Gavel did, I think, not lead 10 laps of the race, I think at the point that we're at... Oh, Fode goes around! Championship implications for Fode as the caution is out for the 6th time.
That's exactly what you don't want. We're out there trying hard to make some positions, and unfortunately, Tyler Fode is around. Changes everything.
This makes it significantly harder for Tyler Fode, especially with less than 40 laps remaining in this race. Looking to the inside of the 0-0, little netcode, a little more netcode, and around goes the 40.
That is an unfortunate way to potentially have the season taken away from him.
There he goes. He gets a good run. Looks to the inside. Little net code there, a little more net code, and that just helped the 40 get turned around fully, as that is not what he needed to see. Enter tonight's race as the points leader in this final race, and the way it's going, it looks like he will be finishing second in points, as Ethan Stanley got really good help from a couple cautions ago, and since then has been holding on to that second place position. That's not the way, you know, anybody wants for any of this to go. But, you know, we have less than 40 laps remaining. I say that because 40 doesn't have much time to get there, but that's still plenty of time for Stanley to be put in a position where he also goes around. So this race is not over. We have definitely seen drivers battling for the lead with a couple laps remaining get wrecked out.
Yes, sir, indeed. Plenty of laps for plenty of storylines to play out, but the current timeline is an unfortunate one for Tyler Fody. But keep your eyes tuned in. Who knows what could happen here? Because at the end of the day, Ryan Gavel is super competitive, and any competitor wants to get up there and win that race. And Ethan Stanley is no different. Anything could happen. Let's see.
Green flag back out for the 7th time, as no challenge there for Ryan Gavel, but the 0-0 Gerald Campbell's looking to the outside, is going around. Frankenfield does this. I don't have a second feed. I don't know why I cut to that. Muscle memory
it's
there.
The car.
No, that was a cup car. And well, what I thought was a caution actually wasn't. It was just a little contact with Scott Crump, Scott Crump and Frankenfield as they did go around. So I'm gonna blow up a replay here, see just what happened to these fellers. As you saw a battle for that second place spot, little contact, the 90 and 15 go around. That should have been a caution.
My goodness.
Don't know why that wasn't. And Scott Crump and Chad Frankenfield have. Oh, Scott Crump mostly has significant damage. Whoa,
Wow,
that was pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
little tandem drift. That was sweet.
That was tandem recovery, tandem drift. Meanwhile, back at the front, Ryan Gavel, Ethan Stanley battling for that lead position. Stanley just needs to hold on. He's in an excellent spot to win the championship, but you know, Stanley's won 2 races out of 6. He wants to, or out of 5 races, out of 6 overall, but he wants to win the 3rd one, win half of the races here. So I know he's not gonna be satisfied unless he wins it. But if he puts himself in a position where he spins out with only a half of laps remaining and 40 gets to be back in front of him, that's not going to work out for him either. As Frankenfield, all the way in 11th, Crump in 10th. As I did want to show the in-car cam of Crump while he was kind of in the front, but unfortunately that didn't happen. As Gavel now has to navigate his way past the damaged vehicles of Crump and Frankenfield.
Ooh.
Crump goes wide to get out of the way, but Frankenfield, we're going to have to take a look and see what happens to him. As I think a couple of races ago, Frankenfield was getting lapped, and he was not making it easy for any of these leaders. So are we going to see the same thing? Is Frankenfield going to hold up the race leader, maybe give Ethan Stanley a chance to get to his back bumper? Because Gavel's kind of been pulling away from Stanley a little bit. Could have been because of Crump getting like inadvertently in the way. We'll take a look, but Frankenfield not moving out of the way here for tonight's race leader with only 73 laps remaining. Now Frankenfield well within his rights to not get lapped. The only way this would be bad from Frankenfield is if once he gets slapped, he holds up for Stanley or any other driver behind them. But for the time being, he's doing what he should as a race car driver to not go a lap down. Now there's a caution and he is a lap down or more, he's going to get the wave around. But you know, you're still going to be put behind, and it's not what you want to do at all. So 75 laps this time by, and the Gavel still can't get past Frankenfield. Little contact. So, sideways goes Gavel. Stanley's gonna get to his back bumper a little bit, as that wasn't. Gavel, I'm sure, is lighting up a storm here in the in-race chat to Frankenfield, telling him to get out of the way. But Frankenfield is gonna hold on to that spot, as Gavel tried to shove him out, didn't quite work, and Gavel almost fell victim to the #1 rule of stock car racing.
Yes, sir. That was scary indeed. Maybe Ryan Gavel intended to get Chad out of his way, but the way the car reacted was terrifying. But he holds on to it, but not without losing some of that gap to Ethan Stanley.
A couple laps ago, Zach Evans. A couple laps ago, Zach Evans did go for a small spin. He's not as far back as Frankenfield is, but he's just 2 seconds ahead of Frankenfield. So that is another driver to look out for as we are 23 laps remaining when we cross start finish line. Frankenfield still not getting out of the way for Gabble, but Gabble isn't really kind of being held up as much as we probably expected him to be, as he's still putting up a decent lap times and almost pulling away from second place Ethan Stanley. Taking a look at 40 for a second as well. Oh, contact!
Oh,
Frankenfield
man.
smashes the outside wall after another back.
Oh no, he might be sideways.
Oh, he made contact, I think, with Stanley, or Stanley
Yes.
did some evasive maneuver to get out the way. That went from 0 to 100 real quick and almost went from a good race to a disgusting race. Let's take a
Just
look at
like
what
I said,
happened.
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Anything almost did happen there. As
man.
Ryan Gabble not happy with Frankenfield there. Finally gives him the shoves he needs, and definitely a little bit of contact. I think he's okay. Oh,
no.
Well, that's
Fody may even hit him.
Fody definitely hit him, and he hit him pretty hard too.
Well, darn.
Oof. Fody in
That's
7th.
unfortunate.
Yeah, let's go in the gearbox here.
Ryan said, "I've had enough."
I think the contact with Stanley is very minimal. I don't think it's anything to I don't think it's anything to be nervous about. But that contact with Fody, that's significant. I was mentioning that the damage on the front and the rear of the car is, I think, more lenient than the sides, but that's still a heavy thud, heavy contact there is on board here. In-car camera. Oh man, Fody just didn't see it until it was too late. Car got up on 2 wheels, and that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, if there's a worst case scenario for this championship from Tyler Fody's point of view, that might be it right there.
Tyler Fody was up to 7th, not anywhere near close enough where he needs to be. Stanley has yet to lead a lap though, so it's still not over for Fody. 19 laps, 18 laps when we take the green. Still plenty of time for another mistake to happen, and then we saw it there. 92 didn't do anything wrong, but he was put in harm's way when the 15 of Frankenfield got shoved by the 12, and the 12 gets another beautiful restart. I think the best one he's had this main event. If somebody goes around, I don't have that camera feed again.
Look up car.
But side by side, as Rexing's looking to the inside.
Sorry to talk over there, Carlos. Matt had a loose moment. Thought he was going around, but collected a great driving by Matt Grunberg there in traffic. Bumper to bumper, pulls it together. Now on the outside line. There were Johnny Thomas and gaggle of cars right there. Risemus, Ethan Stanley, Jared.
Caution's back out.
Jared,
Frankenfield has been involved in yet again. And I think I see the 91 of Scott Crump. No, that's not Scott Crump. That's Johnny Thomas. As Johnny Thomas has lost his front bumper.
Unfortunately, we just had eyes on him. Let's see what happened.
Taking a look here. I don't see Johnny Thomas anywhere nearby, so I have a feeling this happened a little bit up ahead, and it sure did. As Frankenfield got into the back bumper of Johnny Thomas. Now we got to find Johnny Thomas and see what happened here. Side by side into 1 and 2. Thomas drifts up high. No, he doesn't. He just gets loose exiting the corner. The 0-0 Campbell doesn't expect Thomas to get loose like that. Clips his back bumper. Around goes the 91, and unfortunately the 15 just ran into the back bumper of the 91, shoving him into the outside wall head first. He applied it directly to his forehead.
Oh.
Now,
Apologies
in that last
Scott
restart,
Crump.
Stanley lost that second place position, which was significant for him, as he was able to hang on the restarts and be comfortable there. Rexing got that position, so he's going to be starting first car on the inside line. Now Stanley is going to be the second car on the inside line, and we've been seeing the drivers on that inside line, especially who aren't in first in that inside line, lose a spot or two based on the advantage the outside line gets on the restart. So we could be seeing Stanley drop another spot here, maybe into 4th or even 5th and further if he can't get the positions that he needs. Fody right now needs to finish at the moment 1 spot behind him. But Ryan Gavel, another great restart with 13 laps remaining. As Jesse Reisemis, I don't actually quite know what happened, but Jesse Reisemis is not battling side by side for that second place spot between Jared Rexing and Ethan Stanley has dropped another spot.
Yeah, what a shuffle. I mean, what a shuffle indeed. Got to wonder if Ethan got any damage. It was a side hit potentially in the wheel there and starting to get shuffled back in traffic. Matt Grunberg looking to gain back his spots there. And Tyler Fody not looking too uncompetitive considering the damage he had. 12 to go into the season. Everyone's looking for a lot. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Ethan Stanley currently in 5th place. Fody in 7th. Fody needs to pass 1 more spot to be the points leader yet again, as Stanley has now dropped that 1 spot as he's battling between Grunberg. Grunberg has the advantageous outside line. Fody's right behind him. Fody's where he wants to be right now, even with the damage. As long as he finishes 1 spot behind Stanley, Stanley has yet to lead a lap. Then he'll be your champion tonight. As remember, they came in with Fody 2 points advantage to Stanley. Right now, it's a 1 point advantage between Stanley and Fody.
Wow. Can you believe that? At one point, Ethan Stanley was cruising in second, maybe a race win, falling all the way to 6th place, and he's looking at the championship, losing right behind him.
It was 2 series of cautions in the midpoint of the race that saw Stanley skyrocket past Fody and go from 6th place behind Fody into 2nd place comfortably. And it was 2 sets of cautions that saw him go from 2nd all the way down to 6th. And so right now, Fody's race is crumbling beneath him. Is something going on? Oh, battle side by side between Fody and Stanley. As this is going to help Fody secure that championship as long as he hangs on with only 7 laps remaining in this race.
Zach Evans looked to the bottom of Tyler Fody. He had no choice but to block and say nuh-uh, but at the end of the day, ended up sideways with side by side with Ethan Stanley. Now shuffled back out because you can't lose what? It's if he loses 2, it's going to be a tie, and Ethan Stanley's got it, so he's got to lock in here. He can't let anybody around him. But he wants to make that pass. I mean, wow.
Beautiful maneuver by the 24, getting to the inside of the 0-0, but that outside line is still advantageous. As single foul these next 4 drivers are, but now Matt Grunberg went a little wide. The 92 of Ethan Stanley thought about getting inside, didn't have the momentum, and it's still side-by-side battle here. Or excuse me, still single foul battle. Meanwhile, at the front, Gavel is the biggest lead so far, over 1 second over Rexing, who's got about half a second lead over Erasmus.
This is intense. Ethan Stanley trying to make a pass on the bottom line, but crazy. The top line's so competitive for getting a pass done. They remain bumper to bumper.
Stanley has to make a pass. He has to make a pass, and he has to make it with the correct enough timing where Fody doesn't get past the driver he makes a pass with. Because right now, the way it's going, Stanley is not going to pass Fody's championship standings, and Fody might be the champion, but side by side up ahead of him as Matt Grunberg and Gerald Campbell are battling for that position. If a caution does come out, if a caution does come out right now with a driver behind them, Stanley's looking pretty advantageous being on the outside line. But we're almost at 1 to go. The 0-0 makes contact around, and both of those drivers go by.
Oh, man. Ethan Stanley's got to think, there it was, and there it's gone. And now they're about to be side by side. That's not what that Ethan Stanley wants to see. Ryan Gavel peeling out. Don't worry about him. This is intense. Oh, man, there's going to be some contact potentially. Some close racing for the championship at the end of the season. The white flag. Ryan Gavel, man, did he fight all night. Outside, inside, loose. Move some traffic out of his way. He is going to win the season finale. And right there, side by side for the championship. Who got it?
It was Fody. Fody got the position.
Tyler Fody. Oh, my goodness. A little bit of displeasure afterwards, but wow. I bet you Ethan Stanley did not expect that to go down like that. Yeah, that might have been a little displeasure. Wow. Tyler Fody. That's crazy, Carlos. Tell us about it.
Tyler Fody is your 2024 B ERX champion, the inaugural champion here, as he's won actually no races, came in, got the points lead for the first time this season on the last race, and you know, he's hung in there. He got the Mama Ain't Race No Critter Award, hung in there even after the spin, and won the championship. Ethan Stanley, who was looking like he was going to win the championship for the longest, and the way I don't know if they're tallying up the points, or what. I don't think, yeah, because I don't think Stanley led a single lap, unless there are additional bonus points for winning the heat. In which case, then everything we've had has been out of order.
Yeah, I was almost speechless as they came to the line side by side. You know, don't want to speak on anything too confidently. Looking to get the official call. Looks like both drivers just sitting there waiting. That's intense. Ryan Gavel celebrating his win. Quite frankly, dominated. Looked competitive in the heats on the outside and just took it home for the main event. Great win, Ryan Gavel. But who's the champion? Who's the champion?
That's what we don't know. That's what we don't know. So while we wait to see if... Oh, what's up?
I was just saying intense. Keep it going. Sorry.
Yeah. While we wait, I'm going to go ahead and let's go over the race results very, very quickly. As Ryan Gavel's going to be celebrating. We know for sure he won the race. There's no question about that. Gavel won the race. Dominant fashion. I think he didn't lead like 10 laps, but the rest of the race was his. Rexing in second place. Gruenberg finished in third. Jesse Reismus in fourth. Tyler Fody finished in fifth. Ethan Stanley in sixth. Gerald Campbell in seventh. Zach Evans finished in eighth. And Chad Frankenfield ninth. Johnny Thomas got himself a top 10 finish. First driver one lap down. Scott Crump in 11th. And Hunter Smith finished out the race in 12th. We saw him pull down Pier Road. Call it quits after he had that jump start penalty.
What a race by everyone involved. Apologies to Scott Crump. I think I called you Nick a few times, which is my thing I do. Great racing by everybody. So entertaining. Can't wait to figure out who the champion is here. Cannot believe how that one played out. I'm sure Ethan Stanley's feeling the same.
It's a dang tie.
It's a dang tie. Wow. So that's got to mean
that this should go to Ethan Stanley, right?
I do believe so.
Well, let's go ahead and get a quick moment with tonight's race winner, Ryan Gavel. Ryan, congratulations! You led pretty much all but like 10 laps of this race. How was your car handling tonight?
Yeah, no, felt really good. I think clean air had a lot to do with it. I kind of conserved my stuff earlier in the race. I was racing pretty hard with Gerald, and we had some fun there. I don't know, that was like lap 25 or earlier when we were going at it. That was some good racing, and I mean after that I got in the clean air and I kind of cruised. I wasn't max save, but I wasn't pushing super hard. I was kind of just keeping the pace, keeping the gap, maintaining it, and making sure I had a decent lead, and kind of kept it there the whole night. So yeah, it was pretty good. I think clean air must have been the difference because Stanley and some other guys were saying their tires were really falling off, and I could see it, and mine just weren't, and I really wasn't saving that hard, so I was surprised. So must have been clean air, and yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, you definitely you definitely hung on there. Now of course, you started on the front row. You had an issue there in the half. Is there a reason as to did you aim for that 10th place position on the half, or did it just kind of fall that way to you?
No, it really just fell that way. Like, I wasn't on purpose. I was running up front in that heat. I got in here with 5 minutes left to practice. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know how to shift at all. I didn't know the braking points, and shifting was the move, and that's not what I did in qualifying, and not what I did until about halfway through the heat. And then when I figured out in the heat I was shifting in third, then I was lighting up the rears really, really bad, and then the rears were burnt off before we were even done with that heat race. So I fell way back just because my rear tires were destroyed. I was racing hard with Zach Evans and I think Johnny and Hunter Smith. A lot of us were racing for those 8th, 9th, 10th spots there at the end. I burnt off those rear tires, though, and that's what I kind of focused on in the race. Was I knew the right front was going to burn bad because the setup was tight, but the spinning the tires on exit while running, shifting down to 3rd gear and up to 4th, I really was trying to be extra careful easing onto the throttle on exit, because that's what I feel like bit me in the heat race. And it definitely worked out to where getting that pole helped a lot. Track position's obviously important in these. So yeah, that helpful. But yeah, listening here to the announcement, it sounds like this tiebreaker has gone to Ethan Stanley to break the news. But exciting championship fight there in the back with my teammates there, Fody and Stanley. I had such a bad first half of the season, but I'm glad I got to win these last 2 in a row. But glad my Lake Norman teammates had a really consistent season and were able to bring home the championship.
Well said. Well said. Race, do you have anything to add?
Honestly, nothing to add. Very well said, Ryan. It was entertaining watching you all night, especially watching the highline come into play. So congratulations on the win. What a way to finish off the season. Anyone you'd like to shout out, anything you'd like to shout out, please.
Definitely shout out to Chad for setting up this league. It was a lot of fun. I know I wrecked the crap out of him tonight, but you know what? He was in my way. I needed to get going. So, but shout out to him for running this league. These cars, you know, at first when I was struggling at the beginning of the season, I had no fun. But tonight it seemed like it was going to be no fun the way the setup was. But I actually thought it was pretty decent. Seemed like the racing was okay for the most part. The dirt tracks I thought were pretty decent as well. I thought Eldora was a blast. I know I'm just saying that because I won, but I thought that was fun because these cars were tough at certain points, but thought it was pretty decent. I hadn't really messed with these cars before this league, so glad I hopped on and had some fun with these boys like usual. Of course, shout out to Lake Norman. Good season for Fody and Stanley, and glad I was able to come back and get a couple wins here at the end of it. And good job to you guys up here in the booth as usual. I'll be excited to watch this one back.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much, Ryan. Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Race, I have a development. So
Development
the points
has been had.
The points were updated, okay? The points were
Okay.
updated. And it showed that Fody had 1 more point than Stanley. However, there was something that we did calculate. And it's that winning the heat gets you a bonus point. Or excuse me, starting on the pole gets you a bonus point. And Ethan Stanley started on the pole, erasing that 1 point deficit, making it a tiebreaker goes to tonight's champion, Ethan Stanley. Take it away, Race.
Wow, Ethan, that was insane. I couldn't believe it. At one point, you're cruising away with the championship. The next moment, you and Tyler are bumper to bumper. But your efforts in the heat and all season long paid off. You are the champion of this season's ERX series. Please tell us how you did it.
Just I don't really know how I did it. I mean, I like the car, kinda. Pretty decent at driving it. And yeah, me and Tyler we're close the whole season. He was running P2 to me pretty much every race. And yeah, it was close at the end. I think I just destroyed my tires and I got shuffled back. So it was gonna be a tight one.
Yeah, it was a tight one indeed. What was going through your mind when kind of like a few cautions shuffled you back a few positions, and all of a sudden you got Tyler Fody in your rear view making dives to the inside?
I knew I just had to finish behind him, and I'd probably win the championship. Got a couple points over him in the heat, so I got the advantage. So I just had to finish behind him, and that's all I needed.
Yes, sir, indeed. And that you did in front of him. It was very entertaining. And the whole season, I mean, you did great all season long. What's the highlight and what's a low point of this season for you?
Low point was definitely IRP, where my internet lagged out and I took out half the field.
All right.
High point, probably the opener, honestly. That's where I felt the most competitive. Yeah, everywhere else I was just I was fast, but I'd wear out the tires. And yeah, I mean, this is a tough car to drive.
Heck yeah, it looked it. Any damage also whenever there was that spin, I believe it was Joe Campbell, where somebody got you in the right side a little bit. Any damage from that? Did that affect your pace late? Chad Franklin got you.
Yeah, I don't know if the damage actually affected me or not, but Chad did just kind of fly down the track. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, it might have affected me, but I don't think it matters too much on a short track like this.
Very true. Well, congratulations again from me. You're the champion. Carlos, please.
How does it feel to tie a fellow competitor for the championship? Are you happy that you won it due to the tiebreaker, or do you kind of wish that you had like a split champion thing?
I'm happy to win it from the tiebreaker. I mean, I got more wins. I mean, to run at the same level as Tyler Fody, like week in and week out, is. I mean, I'm just happy with that. He's such a fast guy, great teammate, great team owner. Just feel like I've progressed a lot, and I can really fight at the front now.
All right, well said. Are you looking forward to maybe running some more of these races in future?
SRX probably not. This car is a little bit temperamental at times. I think I'll just stick to the NASCAR stuff and my road racing, of course. Pretty excited for Thursday night. I know it's not broadcasted, but the MX5 series is another tie between me and Fody going in. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to make it, but we'll see.
All right, well, thank you, Ethan. Before we let you go, you have any additional shout-outs?
Shout out to Blue Egg Marketing. I know I never got it on the car, but they make it happen. They've been on my car for the past couple seasons. Big time sponsor for the team. And shout out to Seth Rawls for making all these cars. And just shout out to you guys for having the broadcasts every week. I know Carlos was alone for a couple of these, so big shout out to him.
Indeed.
All right, thank you, Ethan. Congratulations on being the 2024 ERX champion. And we look forward to seeing additional greatness from you in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Carlos.
Congratulations.
Race. That was the final race of the inaugural ERX series. Are you what's your state of mind? Are you happy?
I'm happy. It was fun. You know, we were a little behind on the exact scoring, but either way, it was close per position. It was a lot of fun to watch. Crazy how that played out. The whole season was very entertaining. The highs, the lows. Commentating with you, nothing but highs. I'm very happy. What about you, Carlos? Are you happy?
Oh, this was fun. You know, when these cars were announced, and Chad was tempting the idea of doing a series, I jumped in immediately. It's like I definitely want to do this and be a part of this, because I had a feeling I wasn't going to be allowed in. Although by the definition of the rules of entry, I would have been allowed in once they opened it up to race winners, since I technically do have a win in the Elite Racing League, all the way back in like the first season with the with the street stocks when the Elite Racing League started out. So I could have potentially been racing, but I still love broadcasting and commentating. So it was fun to be in here regardless. But regardless, we are done with this season, and who knows when 3 Racing League will be. 3 Racing TV will be on the air here in ERN. And till then, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure indeed. Thank you, Carlos. Thanks everyone for watching.